Hey, this is Jeff Daniel Phillips. I'm here promoting Kirsten Baja, my ode to the B movie. It'll be available on Anchor Bay Entertainment and on many streaming platforms. 1029. I'm here with Don't Go Out There podcast, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Go Out There podcast. I'm really excited for this upcoming interview. We are joined tonight by another true legend of the business. With over 75 credits to his name, actor, director, writer, known most for Rob Zombies, The Munsters, and Lords of Salem, he has Kirsten Baja available in select theaters and streaming on October 29th from Anchor Bay. Mr. Jeff Daniel Phillips, how are you doing today, sir?
Good. Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you.
You as well.
Very nice to meet you, sir.
Let's talk
Jeff,
film.
we always like to start out by asking, what got you into the business? Talk to us a little bit about your journey. We love these stories.
Okay, so I came out. I went to art school, film school. I started taking acting classes because when I went to this particular film school, they didn't have the directors take any acting classes, which I thought was a little absurd to try to direct anybody without knowing anything about it. And then I got hooked up. I did so in Hollywood, and then I ended up in this underground LA theater scene. And that being said, it's underground. It was started by Sam Shepard, actually, in the summers. He would come out to these campuses with playwrights. So it was a bunch of playwrights, actors, and they do site-specific theater, which means, you didn't have to rely on the making the bills of a theater or audiences. You would just go out there and make these cool stories, and it was like a tribe of creatives that were just trying to make cool stuff, tell their stories, and this kind of carried over into me doing that in films on my own, short films, and Kirsten Baja, the film that we're going to be talking about. So yeah, I did that, and then I ended up during this time I'd work behind the camera, and I'd be auditioning for films, TV, commercials, and I'm still doing the same thing now, 30 years later. So.
Right.
Awesome.
Well, that's a good segue because you brought it up. It's something I don't think a lot of people realize is that, you were the original Geico caveman. So, how in the world did that role come about? I mean, that's an iconic ad campaign that, heck, it even spawned a sitcom. So,
yeah. So again, it was the underground theater scene. The director saw me in this play where I was playing this angry, crazy, manic zine writer. And it was, it definitely had nothing to do with the commercial. And it definitely it wasn't, the language wouldn't be accepted. But they thought something, and they thought that was cool, and they brought me into audition. And then that led to a decade of commercials, print, websites, failed sitcom. They brought me in later, and it worked out great. It took about 10 years that they stopped doing it. And then this last year, I've been doing a bunch more.
Yeah.
When I first started doing these things, though, you would be quiet about it. You wouldn't talk about it because theatrical actors didn't do commercials, or it was frowned upon. Now everybody, Samuel Jackson's doing a commercial. It didn't matter.
Right.
So this was the perfect thing. It covered my face. I do these things, pay my bills, and then I go back to doing some crazy theater piece in a underground garage or something, whatever it was,
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've also been in 5 Rob Zombie movies now: Halloween 2, The Lords of Salem, 31, 3 from Hell, and The Munsters. Can you talk to us a little bit about your relationship with Rob? I'm a huge fan of his personally, and I always love hearing what experience actors have with him. And you have perhaps the most experience working with him of anyone we've had on the show. And also, do you have a favorite of the 5 that you've worked on with him?
All right. First of all, yeah, he's the best. I mean, I'm honored to work with him on so many times. He respects actors and performances. He has a clear vision of what his stories are, but at the same time, he's not afraid to pivot if he doesn't like something, or if he likes something a lot, he'll change it organically and add more to it. So many times I was supposed to be in only a certain amount of the film, and then he kept me in for whatever reason it was that he liked.
Right.
And so that there's some kind of a strength in a guy like that. He's extremely an extremely passionate artist who's
Mhm.
he has his hand in every detail of the film, whether it's a design on a T-shirt or the sound or graffiti on the wall, whatever it is, he's part of it. And sometimes I refer to him like a jazz composer because he writes pieces that lets each one of the players have a moment to shine, and then every once in a while there's an opportunity for you to riff, whether it makes the cut or not. He'll give you that moment. I mean, and that's rare, and it means a lot, and it means a lot that he's had that much confidence in me over the years, and
Right.
that's priceless. I'm extremely grateful for our collaborations, the opportunities, and our friendship. He's just been great to me.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite of the 5 projects?
No, like each one of them is like each one of them came at a certain time that I just had
Right.
like real fondness for it.
Yeah.
This one I didn't expect to be in it so much, and it happened. It evolved. Down to the last one, which was the most challenging out of them all physically, and the fact that it was a real gift that he even honored me with that. Playing Herman Munster, it was crazy.
Right.
It was right during COVID, and my mind was not up for going into another country, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
seemed like the end of the world. And you're trying to do comedy with people with masks and shields, and it was a huge challenge. And yet, I'm really proud of what we pulled off, and I love all the people he puts together. So,
As you should be. I grew up on the Munsters, and I thought you played Herman. You did him proud.
thanks. Well, yeah, I mean, we're just trying to do it in the same spirit as
Yeah.
the show, and trying to honor it. We weren't trying to reimagine it or anything.
Yeah.
I think we did it, and going to these conventions is cool because I hear about it now. Like, unfortunately, on the internet, usually the most negative people are the most vocal, and
Yeah.
and that
Oh,
even
yeah.
happened before it came out. So
Yeah.
now I just get all this love from like families and people, and talking those stories. Like, I used to watch it with my grandfather or father or mother or whoever it is, and it's
That's
just
me.
I don't know. It's been really cool for me.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes, sir. I'd love to meet you at a con one day, by the way. But Jeff, of your 55 acting credits on IMDb, 23 are horror and 28 are thrillers. What is it about this genre that you love so much?
I guess a general way would be like saying there's like more opportunity for unpredictability in performance and storytelling, and I guess I love to be surprised. I
Yeah.
like the surrealness and absurdity sometimes that these particular genres give you. Yeah, like you think everything's going one way, and all of a sudden there's a major shift, and then the story goes another way. And I don't know. I dig that.
That definitely sounds like Kirsten Baja. There's no doubt about that.
Did you guys see it then, or what?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, good. Well, then you know what I like. There you
Yeah.
go.
So
Yeah.
you're not only an actor, but a writer, producer, and director as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. The reason you're here. Kirsten Baja hit streaming October 29th and DVD and Blu-ray in time for Christmas, December 15th. We don't want to get into spoilers, but the film stars, of course, Jeff Daniel Phillips and Barbara Crampton, and was written, directed, and produced by you. Tell the fans what they can expect from the movie.
Well, by me, but also Kent Isaacs. I had a group of like very supportive friends and
Right.
crew that made it happen. And there's a few key people like my editor, my DP, my producer, and of course the composer. I could have never done it without any of those guys. But yeah, it's a film that kind of takes you on this anti-hero's journey for redemption, and he tries to right the wrongs that he made, and he uncovers some dark secrets along the way in mysterious Mexico. How's that?
Yes. There you go.
Perfect.
It's generic and maybe
Yeah, that last 30 minutes is that's crazy. It's intense with the twist.
yeah.
I'll just leave it at that.
I hope-
And like you said, we don't want to get too much into spoiler territory, but we were, like we said, blessed to receive a screener, and something that stood out to me, and I think the rest of the guys too, is just how original it is. I mean, we've said a million times before, and with the state of film right now, all the streaming wars going on, the studios not wanting to risk anything that's not an established IP. This was a breath of fresh air. Can you speak to that a little bit?
I mean, it's a hybrid. It's an ode to the B film.
Yeah.
It's a low budget genre movie. Back when they first started making these, they'd have all the money that goes to the big productions and the actors, and then they'd have this other money that would be the second bill,
Yeah.
and they had to be more creative and more efficient. And it was the genres, the westerns, the horror, the sci-fi, the crime, and so that's basically what we were trying to do. We were trying to make an ode to that. Um, uh, I don't know. I mean, I think if you're just efficient and you're able to do it with the right amount of money and FX, then you don't have to deal with all that corporate stuff. And sometimes, most of the times, your films have more of a voice, an individual voice. I think audiences are into that idea. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they absolutely are. And I think it allows for more character development as well, because you have to focus more on the writing and not so much on, oh, well, the next 30 minutes is going to be special effects. It's going to cost $100 million. So yeah, I completely agree with that.
I
And
also love
kind of,
practical effects. So like that
oh
kind
yeah,
of stuff, that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. And as a kid watching these creature features and whatnot,
hmm
practical effects, I got this guy, Jim Ojala, who turned me into a Cyclops in a commercial. And I went to his studio and he just had shelves of all his prosthetics and blood gags. And I worked it all into the script because I knew I had to we didn't have the budget to like make it new, but we were able to redesign what he had and use the locations, actors, and the props and the vehicles we had to make it work. So
right. And some smart cuts in there, I noticed as well too.
yeah, my
Um,
editor is amazing. I've worked with him for a while now. His name is Mark Cohen. Super great guy and very creative.
Right. And kind of speaking to that, I mean, you've made a statement that your last 2 decades in within horror cinema, between acting, attending conventions, have led you to understand the genre in a quote unique way. Can you expand on that a little bit?
I don't know. I think the horror audiences, and of course this is just a general statement, but besides liking to get scared, they tend to be more the outsiders or disenfranchised, and they're not interested in cookie cutter, formulaic stories. They're
Yeah.
more open to different types of narratives. They're into anti-heroes. I don't know. They're just I think it's time. The time is right in the world for these audiences to be more in the forefront, and they come out and support it, especially in physical media. They love DVDs. I mean,
Yeah.
they love
yeah.
DVDs, Blu-ray. I get them all the time. I sign stuff, and they just want to see it and own it. And it's super cool that Anchor Bay Entertainment is doing this film because they understand it and they're getting to release it. And I don't know. I'm excited that people are able to own it and not just hope for a digital platform to present it to them or not.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Jeff, before we let you go, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Letterboxd, but there's a trend online asking what your top 4 Letterboxd movies are. So, in other words, I got to ask, what are your top 4 favorite films? What would you
Yeah,
say?
I'm not on Letterbox yet, and of course those 4 films they drastically change. But then
Sure.
I've been asked that before, and then I started thinking of just 4 DVDs that I've watched that I own. And I don't know whether it's because I own them or I really love them, but I end up watching them a lot. And these are just 4 random ones that they don't necessarily fit together. But Being There, Point Blank, Lee Marvin
Yeah.
version, Don't Look Now, and My Life as a Dog. I don't know. I own those and I watch those, and I don't know how I don't even know when I bought them or got them, but I seem to like gravitate towards those. But the one film also that would be part of this would be the bonus one would be Race with the Devil. And Race with the Devil is what I saw when I was a kid, way too young, and it's this crazy. I don't know if any of you've seen it, but it's with Warren Oates, and it's a '70s movie. Peter Fonda, and they're in an RV with their wives, and they're traveling, and then they witness this human sacrifice. And the whole rest of the movie, they're on motorcycles in the desert, and there's satanic worshiping, and it was just crazy for a kid to see this, especially since we used to go camping and ride motorcycles. And I'm like, what the hell are you taking me? You know? and it stuck with me more than any Disney movie. So this film, Kirsten Baja, is an ode to that movie too, and you could tell how it influenced. Obviously, you guys saw the movie, so you maybe understand it more. But
oh, absolutely.
That movie, I remember that more than any Disney movie. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Jeff, I want to ask something real quick. You know, you brought up conventions a lot. I like to go to conventions. I just went to Spookala in Tampa, going to Spooky Empire next weekend. Do you have any cool, like, what are some of your favorite convention moments? Funny, sentimental? Like, we ask all of our guests that, and I know you do a lot of times.
So I end up going to these a lot with Richard Brake.
Yeah.
And we both go together because he lives in London. I live in Los Angeles. And we just had the fun. We just have a blast. And I mean, just this last weekend, I'm looking over, and it's just bizarre. It's more bizarre than anything. He's signing somebody's prosthetic leg.
Oh,
signing somebody's arm that's about to be tattooed. I've signed those too, but like 2 in a row, he did 2 legs. He signed a leg and then a prosthetic leg. And I was like, this is the craziest, what a crazy gig that we have on the weekend. And he's so much fun, and he's a really talented guy. We have a good laugh. So when people see us, we play off of each other, and it's always cool to meet those iconic actors that you dig. I don't know, like Lance Hendrickson or somebody, like,
yeah.
I just love talking to those guys. They have great stories. So
absolutely.
For sure.
Like me and Brian, we met Nancy Loomis last October. It was I was borderline speechless standing by. I didn't know what to say to her. She was so nice. But I really appreciate you answering that question. Jeff, is there anything else you'd like to shout out, plug, maybe your social media where we can follow you? Any last things about Baja, Kirsten Baja?
You could follow me on Instagram, Jeff Daniel Phillips. It'll be updates. Yeah, it comes out 10/29 streaming, and you said 12/15 DVDs and Blu-ray. We're talking about doing a vinyl soundtrack, which is great because Val, the guy, he's amazing, and we've already put it together. We're just waiting. It's kind of exciting who might be doing it. I just got done doing I can't talk about it too much, but it's Dexter Original Sin. So I play a part in that. So that was really great. And one of the guys I work with the most, the director, was this guy Michael Lehman, who did Heathers, and like he's just, so it was fun working with him because he had like an indie spirit, and just plugging along. You just go from one gig to the next. Character guys like me just try to jump on the train as it's moving and try to fit in, and then you jump on the next one.
Can you say who you're playing on Dexter Original Sin?
I can't say anything.
No. Okay.
All I can tell you is this is all I'll say. Like, how some of the stuff I do, people like to laugh. And Munsters.
I think I've got an idea. I think I've got an idea.
The opposite. How's that? That's all I'll say. I mean, it's awesome. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. But Christian Slater's on the set, so that was hang out with him. He was super cool.
Sarah Michelle Gellar too, right? I think I saw.
Yeah, I didn't work with her though.
Okay.
I think she did show up, but I don't know. You're always amazed when you step on a set. You see some iconic guy like that, and he's just so down to earth and cool. And I don't know. I had a great time. It's been fun.
And see, that's how we are talking to you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, thanks.
We're honored to talk to you, and you're down to earth and cool, so that's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you.
I'm going to shout it out one more time before we let you go. Kirsten Baja, available in select theaters and streaming on October 29th from Anchor Bay. Jeff, we really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.